As lawmakers wrap up their time in Austin, the governor added a few items to his wish list. What that could mean for you, and Beaumont police are searching for a man they say is armed and dangerous. Plus, the election may not be until next year, but a local race is already heating up. 6 News Tonight starts right now.
Live from the Beaulieu Broadcast Center, you're watching KFDM 6 News Tonight at 10 in high definition.
It's like not taking a driver's safety course or a driver's ed course before getting in a car.
As temperatures heat up, a lot of you will be headed out on the water. What new rules you need to know this summer? Good evening, I'm Ashley Gaston. Thank you for joining us. Kelly has the night off. More on that story in a few minutes, but first, 15 days remain before time runs out on the special session in Austin. Governor Perry called the special session to consider bills for new voting maps, but he's added several new topics. KFDM reporter Justin Hinton explains how Texas roads are being considered. He joins us live in the studio with details. Justin?
Just about everywhere you drive, you'll notice a number of problems on Texas roads, from potholes to craters to heavy traffic. Well, today, Governor Perry announced plans to do something about it. He directed the legislature to consider legislation to help fund transportation infrastructure projects. Perry said, quote, "As we enjoy the benefits of a booming economy, we have to build and maintain the roads to ensure we sustain both our economic success and our quality of life." I reached out to the governor's office to find out what exactly that means and how it will be implemented. A spokesman said members of the legislature filed a bill immediately after the governor announced his plan. The spokesman also said this is a continuation of Perry's plan to boost transportation projects and the funding they require. He made similar statements during his State of the State address, in which he discussed the need to improve Texas roads. In addition to the bill Perry's spokesman discussed, several other bills have been filed that also relate to improving funding for Texas roadways. Now, what this means for us here in Southeast Texas will take some time to play out. A spokeswoman for the organization that handles Texas roads said, quote, "What we can tell you is that we look forward to continuing the conversation about transportation funding and are glad to be a resource for the legislature." Interesting note, we spoke to several truck drivers at the Petro Stopping Center off Walden Road, and they all said Texas roads are actually better than many of the others they drive on each and every day.
Some of them are, they can be rough, but majority I think they're all right compared to most states.
New Jersey and New York got plenty of potholes, and Texas, compared to those states, oh man, it's like a million times better.
They both said states on the West Coast typically have the best roads, but back here in Texas, the governor's spokesman said Perry is on board to secure funding for long-term permanent funding to build and maintain roads. Reporting live in the studio, Justin Hinton, 6 News Tonight.
And Governor Rick Perry has added additional high-priority items to his wish list for the special session. Perry is pushing for measures that would tighten abortion regulation and a mandatory life sentence for murders committed by 17-year-olds. With barely 15 days to go, the governor's office said today it had filed to tightly regulate abortion, abortion providers, and facilities. A convicted killer from Southeast Texas has lost one of his last chances to avoid execution. A federal appeals court judge has refused a request from Elroy Chester's lawyers to remove herself from the case. Chester is scheduled to die by injection Wednesday for killing Port Arthur firefighter Willie Ryman III 15 years ago. This is video we took after investigators arrested Chester and brought him to the sub-courthouse in Port Arthur. Attorneys for Chester claim Judge Edith Jones of the 5th Circuit Court in New Orleans is biased against him. Chester's lawyers say during a lecture the judge delivered earlier this year, she commented that African Americans and Hispanics are predisposed to crime, and defendants facing capital punishment who claim mental retardation disgust her. Jones was part of a ruling 2 years ago that rejected an appeal that Chester was mentally impaired and not eligible for execution. Today, the judge denied a request that she remove herself from Chester's case so another judge could look at it. The election is not until next year, but a candidate has already announced plans to run for Hardin County Judge. Wayne McDaniel is captain in the Hardin County Sheriff's Office. He served 10 years as a Hardin County constable. McDaniel plans to run in the Republican primary next year. Billy Caraway has decided not to seek re-election to the top political job in the county. The commissioner's courtroom in Coons was packed this morning for McDaniel's announcement. His wife and children were by his side. 4 county commissioners offered their support to McDaniel, and Hardin County Sheriff Ed Kane endorsed him. One commissioner said he doesn't remember anyone getting this much support this early for a race in Hardin County. McDaniels was born and raised in Hardin County and says he's proud to call it home. Beaumont police need your help in finding a man they believe is armed and dangerous. He's wanted on 3 felony arrests. Officer Carol Riley has more in this week's Crime Stoppers report.
This week, Crime Stoppers need your help locating a violent man with 3 felony warrants. Vontae Shakur Williams, a 20-year-old Beaumont resident, is wanted for 3 felony warrants with bonds totaling over $300,000. Vontae is considered armed and dangerous. He drives a light blue 2008 Honda Civic, and his known hangouts are in the area of Washington and Avenue A and Lucas and Concord. For Crime Stoppers, I'm Officer Carol Riley.
If you have information on this crime or any other felony crime, contact Beaumont Crime Stoppers at 833-TIPS, or you can visit their website at beaumontcrimestoppers.com, or you can text your tip plus BMT to crimes. You do not have to give your name, and you could be eligible for a cash reward. We're getting reports of some issues with the train tracks in downtown Beaumont. There's also a report of an Amtrak train headed for New Orleans that has been stuck at the station here due to the issue. We have a crew on the scene. Stay with KFDM for more as it develops. Now Greg Bostwick joins us with a first look at the forecast. Greg?
Well, it looks pretty quiet right now. We had some showers earlier, especially up in the lakes. That's all died out right now, but we do have another chance of some showers, real isolated chances coming up the next few days, less than 10%. On the weather net, very humid outside right now. For example, over in China Elementary, 83 degrees, humidity way up there. The dew point is 77 degrees. It's going to be a very steamy forecast heading toward Father's Day. We'll have the full details coming up in just a few minutes.
Texans are still recovering from the devastating 2011 drought. Now have an online tool for information on water supplies and disaster assistance. The water source was announced today. It combines drought information from various state agencies, as well as provides the latest information on Texas water policy. Details are also available on water levels across the state. The historic 2011 drought cost the state at least $7.6 billion. And activities on the water are a major part of Texas summers, and most boaters think they know the laws regulating boat users. But times are changing across the lakes and waterways of the state. As Joel Thomas explains, few people are aware of the new laws.
If you're under 17, you need to take a course to get a permit, and you need to have someone else with you while you're on it. And then once you're 18 and above, I believe you can just take a boat out and go.
That's what most boaters think, but that's the way the law used to be. Anyone over 18 was free to drive their boat without any training.
It's like not taking a driver's safety course or a driver's ed course before getting in a car.
And anyone who's spent time on the water has seen untrained boaters doing something dangerous, like
slowing down way too fast. You have the wake behind you, just go straight into the boat, and it's a mess. I've seen that happen firsthand. Yeah, it's not very cool.
But a little-known law went into effect last year requiring safety training for some and making it easier to access for others.
There are 2 types of boat hulls.
Now, anyone born after September of 1993 must watch training videos and complete online coursework to earn a boating safety certificate. All operators of personal watercraft are required to complete the training. The idea is to ramp up a system statewide to eventually have all legal boaters properly trained. But it's taking time for people to learn about it.
I think it is becoming more common, especially as you buy a new watercraft. However, some of the older generation don't exactly know that it is a requirement.
Getting the actual certificate costs about $20, but Texas is offering the online training free to everyone. They hope it will help avoid potentially dangerous water accidents like this one and make the water safer for everyone.
Coming up later in our 6 on Health report, why some doctors want to put bacteria in your body. And coming up next, the down low on high tech, why America may not be up to speed with some other countries.